Dr. Sarah Balgord, congratulations on 4 years of emergency medicine training. You have completed a very rigorous and challenging residency, and you should be proud of your accomplishments. It's been great watching you grow professionally over the last 4 years, and it's been a true pleasure to work with you clinically. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in your new endeavors out in the great state of Wisconsin. Just know that you will be seriously missed back here in the mitten. It's been wonderful working with you. You're empathetic, you're passionate about your job, and you're also super funny, which makes work a lot more enjoyable. All right, well, take good care and good luck in Wisconsin. Go Blue.
Dr. Belgord, congratulations on this incredible achievement of completion of your emergency medicine residency and your graduation today. You should be so, so proud of yourself. I'm gonna miss you for a lot of reasons, but number one is I don't think anyone else in the residency really understands the importance of cheese curds before every meal the way that you and I do. And I'm like insanely jealous that you're going back to Wisconsin and that gets to be part of your life again. You know, one anecdote I'll share quickly about Sarah. I hadn't worked with her in a bit, and we had this really slow EC3 shift where we just saw waiting room patients. And so I actually went in the room with Sarah when she would go to do her H&P, which is kind of uncommon with a senior resident. We don't really get to observe them do that anymore. And I'm not really going to be able to adequately convey how wonderful her bedside manner is, her warmth, her sense of humor, her genuine joy in taking care of patients. It comes across so well, and she wins her patients over in 30 seconds. And that is going to take you very, very far. You are a phenomenal doctor. You're going to do phenomenal things. MCW is so, so incredibly lucky to have you. Congratulations again. I cut myself off. What I was trying to say was congratulations again, and I wish you all the best.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, everyone else. Hi, in particular to my 7 co-presenters who Sarah chose for her graduation video. In a move that could be described as potentially in character, Sarah's video might be a little long-winded, but we'll do our best to keep it quick. Feel free to take a bio break if you need one. Now, when I think of Sarah, one of the things I think of is her dedication to education, whether it's making all the residents learn how to read their own films through rapid fire radiology, or very eagerly teaching all of the interns about the toxicologist handshake. Sarah's dedication to education is palpable. She's also our local Epic guru, and for this, she'll be greatly missed. I even heard that she knows about tools in Epic other than best practice advisories. She's also known as the resident with a cool historic house in a cool historic neighborhood in Detroit. And all of that's going to change when she moves to her cool historic house in a cool historic neighborhood in Milwaukee, another in-character move for Sarah and her husband. Sarah, lastly, is an essential piece of the fabric of the residency, which we can see in any of her relationships with her co-residents and her tear-jerking match day video. I'd recommend you give it a watch, but keep a box of tissues nearby. Sarah, we're so proud of you and everything you've accomplished in residency, and we wish you the absolute best in your future career.
Sarah, it is such an honor to be able to talk about you at graduation. We have so many wonderful things to say, like how you're an amazing educator, not only just of the junior residents and the students, but also basically all the EPMG attendings who have used all your Epic tips for years now. You are a fun person to have in the department. You have an amazing attitude, and you just make the ED better when you're there.
Not only that, we know that whenever we come on shift, we know we're going to have a good shift. You're incredibly reliable, incredibly efficient, and you manage the team so well. But I think the thing that stands out the most about you is your ability to relate to your patients. Your bedside manner has always been impeccable. I think not only the junior residents and the medical students have noticed that, but I think us as attendings have noticed that as well, and you have taught us that. I think every patient who comes into the emergency department always knows that they are getting full care. They're getting every need met and every question answered because you are wonderful with your patients. I know you're going to do a wonderful job in Wisconsin. We couldn't be happier or prouder of you. Congratulations and best of luck to you always.
Madison is lucky to have you. See you soon.
Most people who seek me out for mentorship are really interested in ultrasound. Chad Brown hates ultrasound, but thought that he would benefit from working with me anyway, which I think says a lot about Chad. He's deeply invested in being the best clinician he can be, even if that means exposing himself to things that aren't his thing. He's a passionate educator, and he really respects good clinical acumen above all else. I've had so many conversations where he's introspected over what it means to be a good doctor, and I think that kind of introspection will hold him in good stead as he goes forward.
Chad, you will certainly leave many legacies. There's the teaching shift you developed, your legacy fantasy football team. Oh wait, maybe we'll cut that one. Your unwavering boldness to speak your opinion. We'll miss your discerning eye and unfiltered observations, as well as your passion to speak out to make things better. Your skill set is greatly suited to become an education innovator, which you're already doing. I'm excited to see where you take your career and look forward to seeing you leading future national education meetings. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Chad. We're proud of you, and we look forward to seeing what you're going to accomplish next.
Hello, Jeffrey. Brower and I had a few words to say about you in honor of your graduation. You're a man of many talents. You're an excellent storyteller with endless tales to tell. You're a great beer brewer, and even better beer label maker. And you have a stoic resolve with impressive control, even in the face of a bear attack scenario. It's been an honor working with you these past few years, and I'm thrilled you're taking your talents to South U Anesthesia Department. Congratulations.
Hey Jeff, congratulations on completing your first residency. It's been great to get to know you these last couple of years. And I've been impressed early on when I got to know you with your maturity and just your overall calm outlook on life. From the first time that we hung out on Isle Royal, that was the trip that I think you wound up on a seaplane unexpectedly. And thank you for being so successful in adapting this last year and making the wilderness program work despite all the different restrictions. You did a great job with that. Good luck in anesthesia, and you are absolutely always welcome to come back and join us if you've got any time in September. We'd love to have you back. So congratulations, Jeff.
When I see Chris's name on the schedule next to mine, I get excited because no matter what comes through those ER doors, I know I'm going to have fun and I'm not going to have to work very hard because Chris has this ER thing figured out. Chris is steady and unflappable. He's an excellent teacher to the junior residents. I've always wondered how Chris seemed born to work in the ER and how he seems so wise beyond his years. But then, with a little digging, I discovered his secret. He had been training for the ER long before he was a medical student or resident. Previously, in Madison, Wisconsin, Chris worked in a primate research lab and spent his days wrangling violent, poop-throwing monkeys. If you don't work in the ER, you might not realize it, but that is the perfect place to train to be an amazing emergency physician. Chris, I am so proud of you, and it has been awesome to watch you grow into the amazing physician that you are. You are a valued friend, and I hope you stay in touch next year when you work in the city of Toledo in the state of Ohio. Congratulations, buddy. Proud of you.
Chris, congratulations on your graduation. I'm sorry I can't be there with you tonight. I'm so excited for you to finish this chapter of your life and to move on to the next. Despite your Wisconsin origins, I'm incredibly grateful that I've had the opportunity to work with you and to get to know you over the past 4 years. I remember when I first worked with you thinking how much I appreciated your straightforward, common sense approach to medicine and to life. I love that you were never interested in merit badges or accolades and that you just wanted to be the best doctor you could be. Well, my friend, you've done that. You are an incredible emergency physician. Forever when I think of you, I'll think of that, your honesty and integrity, and your great margaritas. Here's to you, my friend.
Hi, Rose. These flowers are for you. Let me tell you a bit about Dr. Rose Diaz. She's an outstanding doctor that I'd be honored to have take care of myself or any of my family members should we ever need it. But let me tell you other few great things about Dr. Diaz. Rose stepped out of her comfort zone of California and moved to Michigan to do her emergency medicine training. She's now leaving Michigan medicine a much better place than she's found it. Here are 3 reasons why. 1, Rose is passionate about healthcare disparities. She taught us at Michigan Medicine that street medicine is a thing and that you can take care of your community and learning environment even while you're training. Number 2, Rose is passionate about gender equity. I hope you all heard her feminine talk on mommy guilt. She taught us, female faculty and residents, that your children will thrive despite your career choice. And in fact, they will thrive because of your career choice, because they will see you as a strong woman and mentor. And lastly, Rose is humble, kind, and nothing will stop her from achieving her goals. After all, she had 2 children graduate from Yale University while she herself was in medical school. Dr. Diaz, you are an impressive doctor, woman, and mother. I am proud to call you my friend and my colleague.
Rose, it's an honor to be able to speak to you for your graduation. I actually have to admit to an asymmetry, which is that I learned far more from you than I was able to teach you during your residency time here. I'm envious of your work ethic. I'm in awe of your resolve and ability to work through tough situations. You taught me about managing burnout and overcoming compassion fatigue. You have an empathy for your patients and your coworkers that is truly inspiring. We'll miss you here, but I'm so glad for you that you get to go back to California and kick butt with the next parts of your career. Congratulations.
So many superlatives come to my mind when I think about Alexa. Smart, confident, dedicated, relentlessly positive, even when everything seems to be falling apart. She wrote a personal statement for her residency application that I still remember 4 years later. So now I'm going to embarrass her by reading a sentence out of it. Quote, I have seen emergency physicians make a significant impact on a patient's life just by demonstrating compassion, respect, and communicating in a way that makes a person feel understood and validated. Alexa, you are one of the most relentless patient advocates that I have met. You merge that patient advocacy with amazing clinical skills. I'm excited to see the difference that you are going to make for your patients, for their families, for your colleagues, and most of all, for the learners that you're going to inspire. I wish you all the best.
We've all known Alexa is a superstar resident from day one, and over the past 4 years, she's never ceased to amaze me with her clinical excellence. She's hands down one of the best residents I've ever worked with. But what I wanted to talk about today is how Alexa made others feel. Alexa has this amazing positive energy that literally lights up every room she enters with kindness and compassion, and in doing so inspires everyone around her, including her attendings, to be their best selves. I don't think there's anyone in the world, Alexa, that I would have done a disimpaction and ultrasound shift with, because that's what that patient needed at the moment, and that's what Alexa does. The world needs more Alexa. I cannot thank you enough for all the inspiration that you've provided me, and I cannot tell you how much I'm going to miss you next year. You're a wonderful colleague and more so a friend, and I wish you all the love and light on this next chapter of your life. I'm never going to stop harassing you to move back to Ann Arbor, though.
David, Nick is holding me hostage and says I can only pick one thing to talk about you. So I'm going to pick one of my favorite things, which is that you always burn with the fire of 1,000 suns with righteous rage. When there's a cause to be championed, you're there. When there's a wrong to be righted, you won't rest until it is. I really like that about you. I think you've also learned a lot about how to temper that fire so that you use it effectively and you don't get caught in the blast, which like not everyone is very good at doing. I also think that's part of like what makes you a really good teacher. Like that rage turns into passion and you bleed passion. You bleed passion all over, and it may get all over your learners, but I think that's something that really resonates with them. And I've watched them learn from you because of how much you care.
David, what I love about you is the speed you have obtained in the clinical environment. It is with much reluctance that I pass the torch to you as the speediest resident and biggest mover of patients in the department. When I come on shift and see 5 Reds, I love to see when you're on because you'll pick them all up, see them all, staff them, and then when I come back to find you, you've gone and saw a patient on the other side to staff with the other attending.
I love that David has thought more than most residents deeply about why he wants to do academics, what's rewarding about it, what's frustrating about it, and he's already accomplished so much in terms of research and scholarship on the national stage. But most importantly, he and I have talked about how academics is often a pie eating contest for which first prize is more pie. And David is the rare resident who already has all 3 legs of that stool: great teacher, great clinician, scholar. But more importantly, he's the one who's recognized that at the end of the day, he's going to be happy to have more pie. We'll be sad to see him go, but happy to see what he accomplishes. Congratulations, David.
Hello, Victoria. Congratulations on graduating residency. The last 4 years has been wonderful watching you grow into a accountable, compassionate physician. The highlight of my year, I would have to say, would be getting the chance to work with you in the CCMU, caring for our sick patients together. I can't wait for what the next 2 years bring as it pertains to your training and what you're going to do with critical care. Good luck, and I look forward to working with you again in the future.
Victoria, I'm not sure I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been a pleasure watching you dominate the hospital system and emergency department for the last 4 years. I don't know if I've ever proved you wrong, except for maybe that kid with right lower quadrant pain. You know the case. But I'm hoping to prove you wrong here. You told me recently, of all the people you'll never talk to again when you leave this place, you'll miss me the most, or at least top 10. I'm hoping I hear from you again and all the achievements that you accomplish in your upcoming great career. Congratulations on graduating. It's been a pleasure.
Dr. Khan, Mirage, congratulations on your graduation today. Such a huge achievement, and I'm really honored that you asked me to be part of this celebration. I've been an APD for 2 years, and Mirage is one of my mentees. And we first met, we went to Zingerman's to get coffee and learn about each other. And I remember we were sitting at that little table by the window, and I was like shoveling coffee cake in my face because that's what I do. And you shared with me your excitement over the fact that you and Sana were expecting your first baby. And I promptly started crying because that's also what I do about anything baby related. And I bring that up because out of all of the wonderful accomplishments you've had during your residency, I think the best is you becoming a father and very successfully navigating the demands of a residency with the demands of fatherhood. Mirage, you are so kind, so humble, so deserving of every good thing that happens to you. I am beyond thrilled that you're going to be going back to New York City to be by your family. You're going to kick butt at NYU. They are very lucky to have you. I wish you all the best. You're going to do great things. You better still text me baby pictures, by the way. Congratulations again. All the best to you and Sana and your family as you move on to this next stage in your career. Congratulations, Mirage.
Mirage grew up on the mean streets of Queens in New York, and then went to the Bronx for medical school. And in order to build up even more street cred, he decided to go to the toughest place in America, Ann Arbor. West Side, Ann Arbor. The move didn't have the effect you might have thought. He didn't become an organized crime kingpin or start running meth in the upper Midwest, but instead, he became an amazing physician, treasured friend, and perhaps most importantly, a loving father. Raj, I am so proud of the person that you are and the physician that you become. It has been an honor to work with you over the last 4 years, and your future is so bright and limitless. Don't change a thing, because I promise success and happiness will find you. Congratulations, my friend.
Will Kropf is the most focused individual I've ever had the pleasure of working with. It feels like he's always known exactly what he was going to do and exactly where he was going, which is why it's surprising for me to remember that when we first talked about doing ultrasound track, he was really interested in operations and in community practice.
Whoa, Nick, are you sure we're talking about Will Kropf here? Will Kropf, I think, was created in a lab to be the ideal academic doctor. I mean, this is a guy where we did a scan once on shift, and he wanted to write up as a case report. And before I could even email him about putting together materials, he had downloaded the clips, he had a draft of the case report, and he consented the patient to do it. This is a guy so driven that he was given the SAEM Resident Education Award and recognized for his efforts. I gotta tell you, like, the one thing that I'm most worried about in being his fellowship director is that I will have let him down because I will not work as hard as him. And I just have so much respect for him, and congrats, Will.
Congratulations, Will. We're so excited to have you staying on for fellowship.
Charles Will Croft, you are a man of zeal and intensity, and it seemed only fitting for me to attempt to match it. I'm so glad to have gotten a chance to work with you and to get to know you during residency, and equally so, if not more, for the chance to work with you in the months moving forward during your not one, but 2 fellowships. I am a big fan of zealots, and you are a zealot for both ultrasound and medical education, amongst other things, I'm sure. You do dual wield your weapons of choice with versatility and finesse. I apologize in advance for all the growth opportunities and mentorship that await you in your quest to take over the world. Thank you for everything that you have done for the residency. Thank you for everything that you have done for your co-residents and for your patients. You are excellent. Thank you.
Dr. Larrabell, it's with great pleasure that we discuss what a fantastic physician and person we've gotten to know over the last 4 years. Your bedside manner is really second to none, and it's been a great pleasure to be able to work with you. You're one of the rare residents who doesn't change a day from his first day of intern to his last day of 4th year. We have a current side-by-side picture, the left being Dr. Larrabell's first day of intern year, and the second being a picture taken about a month ago. As you can see, basically identical. Throughout his course of residency, Dr. Larrabell has been a real encourager of other residents. He's gotten really good at his procedural skills, as well as helping his co-residents.
And despite all of Dr. Larrabell's clinical excellence and critical care expertise and airway management expertise, he's much more than just a skilled and compassionate physician. He's equally as great of a family man, husband, and father. And I think he sets a great example for all of us to follow with that balance that he keeps. And so we've loved getting to know Pat and his family over the last 4 years and all that he's accomplished. And so we think that Pat and his phenomenal bedside manner, his interpersonal skills, his communication skills are going to serve him really well next year in anesthesia, where all of his patients are asleep for the whole day. And we're excited for him to keep talking to his sleeping patients in his new and next career. So Pat, thanks for reaching out to us, and we wish you the best. And it's been a pleasure to get to know you the last couple of years.
Best of luck, Pat. It was great to work with you.
Hey Dan, congrats on graduating residency. It has been awesome working with you for the past 4 years. Professionally, I think that your skill set is incredible. You bring a ton to the department every day, and I've really had an awesome time getting to know you well over these last 4 years. I think professionally, you're going to do excellent moving forward as an attending, and EP&O is super lucky to have you there. I think from a standpoint at St. Joe's, you have done such a fantastic job working with us and helping lead the work group, and you've really made a lasting impression and left your legacy on this hospital. So thank you so much for that. It does not go unnoticed, and it goes greatly appreciated as well. I really hope to see you around town.
Since he was a University of Michigan medical student, his humble and self-effacing exterior sometimes disguises an amazing depth of dedication and courage. It takes a lot to change one's career and to completely reset back to being a student. I love that Dan is just a normal guy who pops into my office periodically just to chat. He's also an absolute master of convincing people to do what needs to be done. And I've watched him do this over and over again in the emergency department without any fuss or fanfare. The incident that stands out most in my mind was one evening shift very close to the end, when an incredibly unstable woman rolled in to the recess bay. And without Dan convincing gynecology and surgery to mobilize operating rooms without a definitive diagnosis, a relatively young woman hemorrhaging to death from a ruptured ectopic pregnancy might not have survived. It's not every day that we can say that we truly saved a life, but we did that night. And the guy working the phones in the background was probably the most important link in that chain. Dan, you're off to an incredible career in emergency medicine, and you have a wonderful family, including 2 amazing girls. And I hope that your willingness to follow your dreams into medicine inspires them. I wish you all the best.
I can't talk about George without starting with this. He's humble, thoughtful, hardworking, almost pathologically nice. And none of these things come close to being my favorite thing about George. John Wooden said that the true test of a man's character is what he does when no one is watching. And George personifies this aphorism. I remember talking to George after he worked his first 4th-year shift, a job that in our system comes with a big role transition. After working this shift, the first thing he did is he sat down with me and broke down the differences in this role, all the things that he thought he needed to do differently, and how he was going to work on being better in this role in the future. That's George. He's never showboating, never arrogant, never jockeying for position. When he works on something, it's not because he's trying to look good. It's because he's trying to be better. That's the mentality that I think leads to his constant success. George, I'm so proud of you, and I look forward to seeing what you're going to accomplish next. Congratulations, and good luck.
I had trouble finding the right words to describe George. And so I figured I'd rely on some of his colleagues to describe him more eloquently than I ever could. Some of the most common responses were as follows. Quote, let me read these to you. I just love George. That was said by multiple attendings, co-residents, and nurses. It's going to be a good day when I see him. He is so sweet and such a good doctor. That was by Mandy, one of our cherished St. Joe's nurses. Quote, clearly the top 3 best looking men in West Virginia are as follows: John Denver, Bob Huggins, and George Magnone. George actually said that to me. I don't think he's wrong. Anyway, bottom line, I want George to be my doctor and the doctor for my family because he is kind, compassionate, dedicated, hilarious, and wickedly smart. He makes any ER where he works better, and the community that ER serves will be safer, happier, and healthier as a result of him. I will always consider George more than an outstanding emergency physician, but also a cherished friend. It has been a pleasure to work with George over these last 4 years, and I look forward to hearing about his many future successes in the years to come. I'm proud of you, George. Congratulations.
In emergency medicine circles, especially program director circles, there's something that we refer to as the residency unicorn. It is a creature that is much hoped for, but rarely seen. And that is the person who starts an emergency medicine residency as a PGY2 and does not have deep, yet unfound, terrifying pathology. And when talking to program directors about this and laughing, I get to say, hey, have you met our residency's unicorn, Will Schaefer?
I'm really excited about that because I had the pleasure of interviewing Will for residency, and I thought he was going to be great. And I got a lot of this pushback of, don't get your hopes too high. But he didn't do anything bad or dumb to anyone over the course of residency. So I get to walk around saying, I told you so. Will's great.
As a 4-shifter, I spend most of my shifts checking emails and wondering who this person staffing with me is. But Will is so great that I actually learned his name.
I love working with Will because he's such a black cloud. He keeps my clinical skills sharp. If a patient's having ripping, tearing pain from their back to their chest, you know that patient's going to have a contrast dye allergy. If they need an MRI, you know they have an incompatible AICD. But you know what? I'd rather have Will taking care of that patient than anyone else. Great job this year, buddy.
Willie Schaefer. He started from the bottom, now he's here. And by the bottom, I mean Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'm from there, so I can make that joke. Will Schaefer is the kind of guy who can handle a lot at the same time and still smile through it. So this year, he had a baby, he applied for fellowship, and he was chief resident all at the same time. And sometimes literally at the same time. He once left newborn rounds on his newborn child to do an interview for fellowship. So that's how dedicated this guy is. We're so thankful he's staying with us for the next year as our ultrasound fellow. I get to torture him for another full year, which I'm really looking forward to. Congrats, Will. Great work.
You did great, and we're proud of you.
Yeah. Congrats, man. Great working with you.
One more year. One more year. One more year.
Laura, when I first saw your little bio before you came in as an intern, I was pretty excited. Not only had you gone to my med school, but you also looked like what I would refer to as a mature resident. Welp.
God, not even fucking close. What a disaster.
My first memory of you is as a baby resident, a stranger really. You came into my house, helped yourself to my fridge, and made and drank the most disgusting concoction I've ever seen. Since that time, you've distinguished yourself in many ways. Pig thrower, bar regular, athlete of extraordinary grace, and master of the platonic sleepover. I've also heard that you're a pretty good doctor, but since I work in CES and the senior residents don't, in all sincerity, maturity is overrated, and it's your thoughtfulness, intelligence, kindness, and commitment to living life to the fullest that makes you the person you are and makes me so glad that we've become friends. I'm super excited that you're sticking around for at least the next couple of years, and I know that no matter what path you choose for your future, whether you pursue becoming an academic celebrity or a straight-up sugar mama, that you're going to crush life. So big congrats on your graduation. Love you.
Dr. Seawald, it is my pleasure to get to speak about what a great and fantastic physician and person you are. Over the last 4 years, you've certainly become one of the most clinically gifted physicians that have come through our program. For the last 2 years, it certainly seemed like I've been working aside another attending. So that's certainly why it makes natural sense that you decided to do a research fellowship. Now, as a fellow physician slash researcher slash scientist, I wanted to give you a few tips on how to best balance your clinical shifts as well as your research. So number one, make sure that your email gets through the firewall on all ED computers. There's nothing worse than not knowing the status of your IRB approval. Number two, if you're looking for some research and don't know where to turn, there's always research with the medical students. What I like to do is test the medical students on some skill just to get a baseline, then teach them that skill, and then retest them on the skill. And that way we can prove that teaching medical students actually improves their clinical skills. Number three, I like to change all the push notifications from my email that go to my phone to a title of critical alert. So in that case, if someone asks you to come see a patient, you can truthfully say, hey, I'm dealing with a critical alert here. With all that being said, in all seriousness, I was actually kind of excited for you to go to research because I know that no matter what you do, you're going to be fantastic at it. It's really been an honor to be able to work with you for the last 4 years, and best of luck on the next steps in your journey.
Ryan, I am so honored to record this video for you. Your time as resident and as chief resident have demonstrated to me your poise under pressure, your ability to navigate complex scenarios, fierce advocacy for your patients and for your co-residents. The work you've put into QI, to patient safety, to equity and inclusion in medicine have left a permanent mark on this institution, and your loss will be deeply felt. I'm fortunate to have met you and gotten to work with you. I hope that you have learned a small fraction from me that I have learned from you. I'm so excited for you and Vince on your journey together in Madison. I know you are going to be an excellent academic emergency medicine physician. I hope to get a chance to continue to work with you for years to come because I still have a lot to learn from you.
Hi, Ryan. This is from the Perry Kitchen, a place you recognize because we've shared wine and bread and collaborated on this island many times. Instead of standing here today and reading off your resume about all your great accomplishments as an academician, I want to tell everyone about some of the good times that we had getting to know each other and learning together. As part of the Michigan Medicine travel team to Chicago for the AC Jimmy Pursuit Excellence Collaborative, we shared a meal, we shared many meals and wine and learned a lot, which led to your work on the Health Equity Dashboard, which led to your first author publication. We also traveled to San Diego to present our poster on health equity and quality curriculum for the Scholars Program. And I was fortunate enough to be invited to your parents' home where we again shared great meal and excellent conversation. And most recently, I was Ryan's partner at Dr. Brown's kitchen, where we mixed raw eggs and flour with my hands, which felt a little odd. But again, you got to laugh at my pasta making skills, shared a nice meal and wine with friends. And that is Denver, your friend you've met many times. Thank you, Ryan, for all the great collaboration and all the things you've done for this program. Cheers.